When I was asked to pair with coffee, it kind of shocks me a little bit because every day I pair with wine. That's what I do. Food and wine, it comes natural. With coffee, it's kind of different. So the first thing that I thought of is, okay, it's a challenge. The first thing I think is me. If I went into a coffee shop in the morning, I would reach for an almond croissant and have a macchiato. That's what I would do. So I automatically go sweet. So it kind of, so then I have to kind of think of the intensities of flavors and bring it back to savory. So we started with two little savory dishes. One is a Spanish croqueta, but we've used the chipotle pepper, so it's hot. Heat, going to burn your mouth a little bit and get you, so if you don't like heat, nibble on it first, but do have a go. It's not wildly so, but the chipotle pepper it's a dried jalapeno pepper, but it's dried with smoke. So it's got a nice smoky taste to it, okay? This recipe has two and only one chopped afterwards. So we put that into the milk and literally some garlic because we want to get a difference of flavor in there as well. With the garlic, whole clove of garlic, and literally crush it, just like that. Don't bother chopping it, just crush it, break it open and drop it in. I want the raw, it's not going to be in there too long in the heat, so I want that sort of raw harshness. And then from my garden, I'd literally put in some rosemary, some oregano and some bay leaves, but I've also dropped into the mix, interestingly enough, some coffee beans. All right, won't be overly coffee, but it's just to sort of add to it and just give it a bit of because if you think you're drinking coffee with this, you need some powerful flavors. When this is hot, these will go in. Boom. So that's your milk gotten hot in there. Whenever you make a sauce like this, it is important to use your stock or milk, whatever liquid you're using, you must use it hot. Because we're going to make a roux. Everybody heard of a roux? Bechamel sauce? Basic sauce. So it's butter and it's flour. I'm using 500 ml of milk, like I said, 100 of each of the others. Okay? And then to that, we're going to add some parmesan, some fresh herbs. You'll season it and it's done. And then you'll chill that in the fridge. When it's cold, you've all seen the paste that's come back. We just boil it off and we put it through flour, egg, breadcrumbs and deep fry it. Okay guys, so we've melted the butter. I'm sure you've all seen this one. So when I've done this mix, obviously I passed out all the aromats before. The chipotle pepper that is soaked basically goes back in, chopped up. You see that? Okay, so the next course that I chose is bresaola. As you see with this, you see the sort of the ring where I give it less time. I give it less time in the cure and less time to hang because I love my beef. And I like to taste a little bit that it has come from beef. It is traceable. And actually, and it's just softer on the palate. And it's salty. It's been cured with aromats, with orange and lemon zest, rosemary, thyme, spices. So it's got lots of flavors going on, which makes, for coffee, it's okay. But you got the saltiness. Then we put on it the burrata, the mozzarella, to give you that creamy note. So if you're having a black coffee, obviously the thought of the black coffee and the cream, you're there with that. And then a dish I've done for a long time, often as a dessert, is figs. Figs and mozzarella, classic. I've poached these first in port. Some muscovado sugar. And again, some spices, but softer. I'm not going to hit you with chili again, but vanilla and cinnamon and anise and some juniper. So none of the spices are that in your face. They're not that powerful. They're subtle, but they are there. And I bought micro basil just to be a little bit poncy. And everything on here should go together. It's all designed to blend in. The olive oil, the parmesan that we put on, everything should play a part. I tend not to put things on a plate that shouldn't be there. The next two courses, we're going to go the easy way. We're going to go dessert. The first of which, donuts. Hot brioche donuts. So we make a brioche dough the day previous. Always make the day previous. I'll explain in a minute why. And into the dough, we've put just a little bit of lemon zest and some vanilla seed. Okay? And today, we're serving with it two sauces for you to dip into. one of which is an apple salted caramel sauce, and the other one's an apple sauce with a bit of cinnamon. So again, you've got the salt, you've got lots of different flavors and things going on. But you're going to be served a short coffee this time. So this is me in the morning. This is what I'd reach for with a strong coffee. So when we make the brioche, I don't know those who've made it before. It's easy to make, with strong flour, with eggs, with yeast, salt, and sugar. We make a dough. We then put butter on top of the dough. We let it ferment so it comes up once, and then that's beaten back into it. And this is why you do it the day before, because when you beat it back in using a paddle, it becomes very wet, very moist, and you need to chill that because you won't be able to work. It will look more like a batter than a dough. So when that's chilled in the refrigerator, obviously the butter's gone hard. You can manipulate it how you want, which is why we can then bring it out, make little balls, and fry them. Okay, so the little balls of dough that gone in now come out a little bit bigger. So okay, guys. If I can pass them over. John, my only suggestion would be, if you're going to try the sauces, do make a mess. Dig into them both. To get into one, then get into the second one. So you get the caramel and you get the apple together. So I'm going to show you another recipe. I'm going to make a chocolate cake. And the reason I've chose to show you the chocolate cake is just to show you how damn simple it is. So if you like it, what you taste, you can take it. You can take the recipe home with you and try it at home. So it's a moist chocolate cake containing butter, 70% chocolate, eggs, sugar, and just a small amount of almonds. So there's no flour. So it is a gluten-free, which is always a good one to have. 1 packet of butter, 250-gram butter, unsalted, in a pan. 600 grams of chocolate. So you melt that first. You get that hot first. So all this melting over a bain-marie, blah, 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 forget it. Throw it in here. Give it a little stir and just forget about it for a minute because the warmth is going to carry on. We bake this 180 degrees, 25 minutes. Take it out, and best if you just let it stand for an hour, room temperature, and then cut it, and it will still be very moist. Right. Eggs and sugar. 10 eggs. Got 550 grams of sugar. There's no whisking, it's just break them in, stir them in. When you whisk it, it's going to go against this recipe, the cake. It won't be so, it will give it a rise. And we don't want the rise, we want it to more or less set. It will rise slightly, but very, very little. And it won't give you a crispy top. We're after the goo, we're after moisture, and we're after sort of gooey. We're going to serve this today with Amarena cherries and some creme fraiche. This is going to be served with a very strong, this is my drink, the India, the ristretto. This is what I drink at home. This is the creme de la creme for me because it's got the kick-ass. It's got the power, and that's why we've chosen this. It's like a Black Forest Gatto on steroids. You know, it's got some clout to it. All right, so we'll literally just mix the eggs. Now you see the chocolate sat for a while in the heat of the butter. It's had enough time to sort of start. You'll still see the odd lump of chocolate. We just beat that in. So that's the section of the cake. That's okay. As it stands now, it's sort of just coming to room temperature. This was baked yesterday. We had to bake it to bring it here. But it really is, if you're going to do it at home, do it an hour, 2 hours before maybe, and just let it stand, and it really is good. It takes all the panic out of your dinner parties. All right, chocolate, eggs and sugar, and as easy as this. All in together. Stir it around. And then literally a couple of tablespoons of ground almonds. Throw them in. And it's finished. That's the consistency. So fairly runny and gooey, yeah, yeah. Then we have an oven hot at 180, we pour it in. And that's it. So that's as easy as that, guys. That's takes all that hard work out of your chocolate cake. If you start with a sip of the coffee, just to get a taste, and then dive in for the cake, and then go back, and just see how it changes, how the flavors change.